Guys, gals, and everyone out there, I do need to appeal to you. All right? Tips are very important to me in my business, and here's why. Tips are the liquidity of my business. And what I mean by that is that's the cash flow that I get that I can use to spend on things. You know, if you want to make the tips call happen, you got to do it tonight. Bills and stuff behind the scenes, generally tips pay for that. And the only thing I would need to say, guys, please, if you at all can, if you want to help me out the most, please tip me. Right now, behind the scenes, there's stuff going on that I don't want to really disclose. Okay? Coming up, my day off on Tuesday, grocery shopping, tips. If I have a meal with my wife, tips. You see? The tips are very important. Just over another hour, just so everybody knows. And right now, as you guys can see, we are at $28 in tips. So we got a ways to go if we're going to hit the best goal tonight. So I understand that people right now are so hyped for the gifted memberships, and I'm very grateful for that. I mean, thank you. But I hope that that doesn't mean that people are going to forego tipping, because that would put me in a bad situation. Right now, I need funds to do things in the short term.
Darkside Phil, aka DSP, is a man who is known for many things. Rages, piss poor attitude, this is how you don't plays, snorts, and of course there's whacking his putt on camera. They're among the most well known, but if you ask any DSP detractor, and the man collects detractors like he collects cards in a WWE phone app, they will tell you the thing DSP is most infamous for is begging. DSP has many monikers. He styles himself the King of Hate, while the community calls him the King of Excuses. Or the King of, you know what? You tell me. What is DSP the King of? I would love to read your comments on what word you think best fits DSP. Personally, I think he's the King of e-begging. Which is what we're going to talk about today. Because according to Phil, he's basically destitute. Before we get into it though, I like to thank my Patreons. All my Patreons, especially Sludge for the Sludge God, Drift King Jr., Marty McNasty, Diarangus, Noodle Dog, MacTire, Base Bigfoot, Miss Moody, Hyper Ninja, Snowy May, Salted Placenta, Trashboat, and Burn. Y'all are amazing. If you happen to like what I do and would like to support it, link is in the description. If you were unaware of DSP, I do have a video that covers him pretty well, but here's the Cliff Notes version. Phil got to start playing Street Fighter 2 in tournaments, and after coming in 4th place in one of them behind 3 Japanese players, he dubbed himself the American Champion. Let's just say he wasn't the most popular of people, even back then.
You got some idiot named DSP who's a total piece of shit, by the way. I like to get that on YouTube, but this guy thought he was hot shit because he beat me and Choi in a game that was like, it's like fucking Neo Geo conversion of Street Fighter or some crap, dude. and he was so proud that he put under as a signature he's the #1 US ranked Super Turbo player that year. But I mean, look at him now. I mean, he's just 20,000 idiots are subscribed to him. That's great. Congratulations. Congratulations with your YouTube channel, and hope you enjoy your life, bro. I mean, it's a great victory. PlayStation 1 Super Turbo champion. You take that to your grave, bro. Good luck.
I like how everyone laughed except that one DSP fan yelling about his sub count. DSP has been on YouTube since 2008, but back then he did it for fun. When he lost his full-time job, he made YouTube his career, and as we just saw, he was actually popular back then, regularly appearing on YouTube's front page. The problem is Phil can't stay out of his own way, so the road has been bumpy. He lost his AdSense, which is how YouTube pays its creators, early on for breaking the terms of service. He joined different multi-channel networks back then, to get around this, but was dropped for various reasons. His downfall really started in 2013 when Evil AJ, a former fan DSP had banned from chat, published a montage of Phil failing at Metal Gear Solid 2. This began a snowball effect that takes us to today, where the detractors regularly get more views than Phil. At first glance, you might think DSP is popular today, what with his over 200,000 YouTube subs and 100,000 on Twitch. But when you get down to it, the majority of those people are detractors or former fans who have fallen off. Oh, and while I'm on the subject, big shout out to the detractor channels, especially Memology 101 and Snort Hogan. That's where I got most of my footage. If you find DSP interesting, check them out. Links in the description. They actually make Phil watchable. But before we get into it, I'd like to remind you of Locale the card game.
Oh, shit.
It's really popping off and has some amazing people working on it. I hear it's going to be very collectible in the future. You know, like NFTs and cryptocurrency. I'm just joking. Because with the Locale game, you don't get stupid online pictures you have to pretend are valuable. You get cards you can actually hold in your hand. Like these.
Please bear with me, guys. I have a little
Including one based on a certain devilishly handsome werewolf. They are always coming out with new stuff, so it's a great time to get in. Who knows what amazing ideas they'll come out with next. If you like the idea, link is in the description. Back on the topic of begging, I think Phil exaggerates his financial troubles. And while it's true he did file bankruptcy, and it's been all but proven he spent thousands of dollars on a mobile WWE card game, you have to remember, Phil makes a decent amount of money. As of me writing this, he has around 500 channel members, which at $4 a pop is not chump change, even after YouTube takes their cut. Add in the money he makes from his videos and streams and the donations he's received on a daily basis, and it's easy to see Phil definitely has money coming in. Though to hear Phil talk about it, he's poverty-stricken.
Alright, I am not trying to ask anyone for anything extra. What I'm saying is, if you were already going to support these streams over the weekend, please tip if you can. Alright? Because I need to get past these two big bills, and then afford my day off this week, and then we're in the clear. Alright? So that's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee,
Oh,
guys. I'll
Phil,
be right back.
you are never in the clear. I could literally show you hundreds of clips of him begging, but it's already been done nicely on the detractor channels. According to Phil, he's always at a cliff when it comes to money. His life depends on those tips, people. So let's see what happens when he gets no tips on a stream. I have not seen it yet, but I would bet Phil's WWE card game debt that he doesn't blame himself for it and is pretty passive-aggressive.
So, we determined all of this. And then when I played Super Mario RPG Remake on Friday, the premiere day, things went really well. People showed up, they engaged, they supported in droves, they loved the game. Wow, this is a great retro throwback. It's really cool. Happy to see you play it. Cool. Well, I guess maybe my fears, my apprehensions have been disproven.
I'm just trying
Maybe
to
I was just being a little bit paranoid.
I want to play
right?
the DLC. I don't really
Except
care
then I
about
played
any
it
of
again
this.
yesterday. So when I played it again yesterday, which was only my second session, so
Okay,
you
now
know,
we
you're
need to
talking
go
we're
get
getting
Jill in
from
our
3 to 6 hours into
camp.
the game. Attendance dipped after the podcast. Half the audience left. Engagement, after about halfway through the stream, people stopped talking to me. And I was like, what happened? And support was nearly non-existent. In fact, once the game started, the support completely stopped. There was no tips, nothing. It just stopped once I started playing the game. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, then why am I playing it? I mean, I could have played anything else. I've already played this game 4.5 years ago, right? And I'm loving it. I love this game. I would play this game every few years because it's a great game. But I am here to stream content for you to watch and enjoy and digest. And hopefully you enjoy the content and what I'm putting out, and then you will reciprocate with support. That's how the formula works. I'm not someone who gets paid by a company to promote their game. I'm not someone who shows a product. I'm not someone who has a million collaborations and crossover projects. It's just me, one dude, sitting here playing a game, trying to make it entertaining for you, and hopefully you find that entertaining, and then you'll support my content, correct? So, when I'm playing Mario RPG in one stream, everyone's telling me everything's great, this is amazing, keep going, I love it. And then the next stream, everyone dipped. And it was like the complete opposite. I don't know what happened. It's the same game. I'm the same guy. I'm making the same content. What changed from Friday to Monday, right? Nothing. And the thing is, I mean, everything else is fine. All my other streams are doing good. So what the heck happened with Mario RPG? I'm like scratching my head. I don't get it. So, oh, by the way, just get rid of this fucking idiot because I've had enough of this guy fucking sitting here being toxic for days and days and days. So goodbye. Okay. So my question to you all is, what's going on with Mario RPG? This is honest question. Now, here's the thing: it's not a long game. It's about, even if you are bad at the game, it's less than 20 hours. If you're looking for all the secrets and extra stuff, it's around 15. if you're just rushing through the game, you could beat it in 10. All right, I'm not rushing through the game, by the way, at all. I'm taking my time with it, and I'm going to enjoy it. People are saying there's new optional post-game content. People are like, well, are you going to do it? And I'm like, well, number one, I didn't know it had that. Number two, if the second stream of the game I'm playing has no one showing up, no one interacting, and no one supporting, what makes you think that I want to play this game extra long? Right? What you're telling me through your actions is you want something else. You don't want this game. But again, I don't get it. What happened on Monday compared to everything, you know, the Friday stream was completely different. So I just don't get it, honestly. I would love feedback on this. What changed? Same playthrough, same game, same person playing it. Gameplay didn't change, playstyle didn't change, everything was the same, but somehow completely different attitudes towards the game from Friday to Monday. It blows my mind. You know, I even told you, like near the end of the stream yesterday, I was like, is anyone here? Like, no one's talking. Like, what's going on? You going to sleep? You know, and the game's good. I'm sorry. I like the game a lot. I think it's quirky, fun, good writing. This is the game that was the predecessor and precursor to games like the Mario and Luigi saga that was on, like, the Game Boy games and also the Paper Mario games. Like, it led into those. Quirky style, you know, humor and stuff like that. So, I guess we'll see. But I want your feedback. Please give me feedback. I would love to know what happened. And is there a reason? Is there something I can improve? You know, the thing is, like I said, it's not a super long game, which I'm happy, because I know you guys want RoboCop. Many of you must want RoboCop. So that's coming, okay? But, well, you know, I want feedback to know what the hell happened. If I can improve or change it in any way, I'll like to. I just don't get it, all right? Excuse me. Excuse me. So, that's the one playthrough right now that's got me scratching my head. It really is. It's like, I don't get it. Everything else is going all right, but heard a whistle. You heard that, right? There's like a whistle outside. Anyway, so here's the thing. All right, this week, a short week for me. Kind of sucks. You know, what can you do? When you have a short week, you have a short week. It's a holiday week, right? We got special stuff coming up. We're about to talk about that. We're about to hit up the schedule, and I'll tell you about all the special festivities coming up later this week that will be outside the realm of the normal gameplay and things that we do on the streams. Certainly, I hope that you guys are going to show up for those events if you can. And if you can't, I'm not going to go crazy. For example, the Thanksgiving Day event coming up. I know a lot of you can't be here on Thanksgiving Day. If you live in the United States, you're going to be busy with your friends or your family. It's all good. Maybe some of you will be able to come and chill with me. We're going to do some special relaxing stuff. We'll talk about that in a sec. So I'm not going to sweat it or anything, you know. But the truth of the matter is that this week has been the ultimate mixed bag, okay? The first 2 days of this week, you know, starting up with Mario RPG, bringing Modern Warfare 3 back into the fold as a daytime stream, bringing Street Fighter 6 back entirely and doing a fun Friday Night Fight stream. You know, those streams all did really well. People showed up, engaged, supported, great attendance, great support, everything. Like, super positive. Then Sunday, it was my React show, which I knew was going to kind of interrupt that flow, and there's nothing I can do about that. I do the show once a week. And then we did, like, we did Starfield, and man, again, I really wasn't expecting Starfield to go crazy or anything. I definitely knew that was not going to do well, but I need to finish the game. But then yesterday with Mario RPG, that threw me for a loop, and I was a Street Fighter stream did all right. I never expect when I'm doing a late night Street Fighter stream that we're going to get insane amounts of viewers, or we're going to get people going crazy with contributions. Every once in a while you do. You're someone who's like, oh, I'm a big fan of Street Fighter, I come by or whatever. But it was all right. You know, I got no complaints there. It's just 4 straight streams now where I didn't even hit this goal yet. Not even one of the 4 streams did I hit that, right? I've been trying to get us back up to 500 members for 3 straight days. We were at 500 members. And then a bunch expired, and it just seems like for whatever reason, for 2 straight days, it's been, you know, kind of slow around here. And it sucks, because I like having momentum. I like the feeling that everything I'm doing, people are enjoying. They want to come by, and they want to, you know, partake in it, and they want to be a part of this fun experience. And I feel like it kind of was great for 2 days, and then fell flat on its face for 2 days, right? It's tough, especially when you're a variety streamer like me, to keep momentum going when there's not some one notable hot new release that everybody wants. When there's no one game that's the one that everyone wants to see, it's tough because you always get a split audience, right? Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that today, Modern Warfare 3 has been a hit And as a daytime stream the other day, it did really well. I'm hoping it'll do well today. I'm hoping that people will come and support the stream, engage, have a good time. And in general, this will be a situation where people will really enjoy themselves watching me play Modern Warfare 3, and we can kind of do a flip on its head of what's been happening all week. I hope. We got someone, Lice for Soul, is gifting tons of memberships to the channel right now. Thank you, Lice for Soul. I'm going to shout all these out later, as you know. I do the shout outs at the end of the show.
Not as passive aggressive as I thought, but close. So I think we've shown to the satisfaction of everyone that according to DSP, he is in dire financial straits. No? Fine. Let's watch the Babe Ruth of begging do it one more time.
Anyway, so tonight, 2 hours of Modern Warfare 3. We'll see how it goes, and go from there. And I am doing it tonight and tomorrow night, by the way. So I hope you will join me tonight and tomorrow night. And please, if you can, support the stream. All right. And you know, in a few ways. Number one, our goals. Number one, my goal for today was 490 members. We got like 4. So we went from like 475 up to like 479. So we're getting there, but we did not get a lot of members earlier on the Like a Dragon Guidance stream. It would be great tonight if you're here and you're in the mood for supporting the community. Maybe give some members to the channel. That would be amazing. 'Tis the season. I'm sure that your fellow viewer would really appreciate that. And it would help out the channel. That's number one. Number two, to hit that tier 1 tips goal. All right? Recently, I've had some days where tips have been absolutely outstanding and other days where they're quite slow. And some days they're just kind of in the middle. I've had a few slower days this week. And so it would be good tonight if we hit that tier 1 tips goal. I did narrowly hit it on the first stream. By the way, I realized I didn't turn on my lights or anything. I should probably do that, huh? Oops, this is on. This is off. I was like, why is it so, like, different colored behind me? Because I didn't turn that on. That's why. Well, there we go. Yeah, it would be great if tonight if we could hit the tier 1 tips goal, because then it would at least make it an average day where I hit the tier 1 goal on both streams, all right? Yeah, it is concerning that we're in the busiest time of the year, and the tips have slowed down quite a bit. I don't know what to say about that, besides it's just a fact. It sucks, but what can I do about it besides just push forward? So please, if you can tonight, consider either a membership, a gifted membership, or a tip. Those would all help out the channel a lot, okay? Oh yeah, guys, tonight, starting tonight, new animation for a $20 tip. Because the old animation was the Street Fighter animation. Obviously, that's not very pertinent anymore. I'm not playing Street Fighter all the time anymore. So we took that out of the rotation, and now there is a brand spanking new animation for a $20 tip here on the streams. So if you tip that, you will see a new animation. I'll play it for you live, okay? Let's continue. I got a $4.20 tip from Adam tonight. Thank you, Adam. Let's get that animation. First animation of the night. Biggest tip of the night. Remember, for a $20 animation, we now have a brand new animation. You guys have never seen it before. All right? It's brand new. Brand spanking new for 20 bucks if someone tips 20. And that would help a lot because, like I said, I am looking to hit the tier 1 tips goal tonight if possible to help things out. I have had some slower tip streams recently. It would be great to get that tonight. Thank you for the super chat. Now, guys, remember, because we're about to start, 2 things are my goals tonight. Goal number 1, hit 490 members. So if you can become a member or gift a membership tonight, please do so. Number 2, I need to hit that tier 1 tips goal if possible. Please, if you can tip tonight, if you want to support, please tip tonight and allow me to hit that goal. All right, that would help a ton. Either one of those is what I'm going for.
Give
tonight.
me one
Super chats are
second,
great,
guys.
but those other things would help more right now. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. So on Twitch, there's some advantages. All right, the chat's much better. Why? Because it's IRC chat rooms. Those are definitely better than YouTube chat, which is a comment system. And you can do channel points, wagers of channel points, and things like that. So admittedly, there's some big advantages to Twitch, but the quality of the streams over there, if I were streaming there today, my stream would look nothing like it does today. It would be choppy, it would be pixelated, because they limit your stream quality. It would look like shit. So I'm happy I'm not over there in that regard. It just sucks, though, because there's so many people that are like biased and thinking Twitch is the place to be for streaming. And when I did go from Twitch to YouTube, I lost a lot of support. To this day, I mean, look how many constant members I have here. 400? You know, so it fluctuates between 300, 500. Over there, I had 800 plus every month. Just because I was on Twitch. There was no difference between my content. It was just because I was on Twitch. I had like 300 more members a month. It was wild. So thank you to Engine and Tonic TM, who became a member tonight. That gets us up to 480. So guys, remember, I have 2 goals for tonight. Goal number 1, 490 memberships. We're 10 away. We have time to do it. If you guys like the content, if you could become a member or maybe give some memberships to the fellow viewers, 'tis the season, that would be great. It would help the channel, and I'm sure they would appreciate it. But in addition, tips, guys. I'm trying to hit the tier 1 tips goal every stream, and I really could use the help right now. If you could tip tonight, that would be great. Thank you in advance. All right, here we go. All right. All right, time to split the part, everyone. Part 2 coming. Thanks for watching. All right, guys. First half of the stream done. I am going to stretch my legs, and I'm going to use the restroom very quickly, and then we got another hour coming. But, guys, please, support the stream tonight. All right, I had 2 goals for today. 490 members, and to hit the tips goal, the tier 1 tips goal each stream. Earlier today, we got a few members. Tonight, we got like 1. Earlier today, we did hit the tier 1 tips goal. Right now, we got an hour left, and look where we are. Please support the stream tonight. I really appreciate it if you could. All right? You know, having a series of slower streams sucks. It's not good, especially, again, I haven't made up for the fact that I was sick, and having these slower streams of new games sucks. All right? If you need support of any way tonight, please do. I'm just going to be right back after I pee.
Why'd you have to say
Mango
that,
Pimp,
though?
you don't ever tip, so you could stop saying that you would tip. You never do. You can stop talking out of your ass now. Thanks. Thank you to Kev Nades. Kev Nades became a member tonight. Thank you, Kev Nades, for the membership. I appreciate that. 481 again.
I never did
The
get around to
goal
beating New Game
It's
Plus.
490 today. Don't know if we're going to hit it in the next, 45 minutes or so. It would be great if anyone likes the channel, if they could become a member, gift the membership, or tip tonight. Again, that's the goals.
Give me
If you could,
money, you
thank you.
stupid bitches. How dare you watch my content and not give me
Avarice,
at
I'm
least
glad you love the Call of Duty stream.
$100 a day?
If you love them, please support them in some way. Thank
Man,
you.
if I can make $100 every day,
Guys,
that's
we've got
like
about a half an hour left on
$3,000
stream, just so you know.
every
All right,
month.
again, if you can, please. What just happened? We were not fucking playing on Rust, and the fucking game put us on Rust. Jesus fucking Christ. We were on High Rise, and it changed to Rust.
Are you fucking retarded?
Anyway, good evening, everyone. I hope that you guys will stick around for the rest of the stream. I'm playing this
Dude,
again
I'm a
tomorrow
little
night, too,
retarded.
but I'm going to be honest. All right, already, I've been playing this for, what, a week? Look at the drop-off in engagement and support, right? Like,
Look
what's
at the
going on? I
drop
don't
off
know.
and the
So I
amount
guess
of
you guys
money
are
that
already
I'm
pirating
getting,
it, and I
guys.
spent $70 on it. It's like, I want to play Warzone, but Warzone's not out yet. Warzone doesn't come out till December. I was actually going to play it this coming week, and people told me it's not out till December. And I'm like, well, I guess we're not doing that then, right? So, I'm doing what I can. I'm playing the modes that are available. I'm doing different weapons, unlocks and stuff. I'm trying to do my best every night to give you guys variety. You know.
Team deathmatch.
I don't know what else to say. This is Call of Duty now. This is what it is. No, no one wants a campaign. Everyone hates the campaign of this game. No one's going to want that. If people are not going to come out and watch and support multiplayer, which is chaotic, has silly fun, has kill streaks, has all that stuff that gets you full of adrenaline, there's no way no one's going to give 2 fucks about the campaign about this game, right? I tell you right now, no one cared about the campaign about this game last year either. And I played it, and I didn't really like it, and no one gave 2 shits, so I'm not going to care about it this year. I think some people will care when it gets to Warzone, but we need Warzone to be new, and I'm not going to play last year's Warzone. That's quite ridiculous that they fucking sell this game with all of its modes updated yet, right? We'll see. Alright, guys, time for 1 to 2 more matches, okay? 1 to 2 more left. Last chance if you would like to support the stream tonight in some way, and again, would appreciate if you would. I don't know. It's not looking good for Call of Duty. Only a week in, and having slow night streams is not good. So, alright everyone, that's going to be it for tonight. I am planning on playing this again tomorrow night. After that, I don't know, I might have to give it a break. Because it seems like this game's only been out, what, a week? And it seems like you guys are already burnt out, right? And there's not much I can do about that. I did enjoy playing it this
By
week
burnt out,
as multiplayer. I did a couple major streams of it, and now night streams and everything. But
You guys
I
aren't giving
guess
me
I'm gonna have to
money.
figure out what else you
Enough
guys want.
money,
I don't know if you
guys.
want me to
Come
bring
on,
back
what
Street Fighter to the
happened?
mix or whatever. I'm not gonna change tomorrow's schedule only because tomorrow's schedule already, you know, is kind of set. We've already done it, but
Okay, I think
I
we
don't know
can
what else to
upgrade a
say.
few of our moves.
It seems like
now.
within a week we've already got fatigue and people are kind of tired of the game or whatever, and there's not much I can do about that. I can't make the game fun. I told you I want to play Warzone. I'm dying to try a new version of Warzone, and it's not out. People are saying it's not out until freaking December, right? That's unfortunate. I mean, the game came out in early November, and you're telling me that the freaking mode that everyone's interested in doesn't come out till December? That's just stupid in my opinion, you know? Really dumb, but that's kind of the situation right now, all right? So I'll do it again tomorrow, and then we'll have to play it by ear and see how often I will play it or whatever.
I don't know about you, but if I were a DSP fan, I would get completely sick of all this begging, day in and day out. It seems like it's all he does. Now, to play Phil Advocate, maybe he hates doing it. I mean, it's not fun, and I don't know if anyone truly likes begging. Maybe he's ashamed of himself. Yeah, and maybe monkeys will fly out of my butt. Let's see how Phil really feels about this.
So let's try this again. As someone who, I'm just going to read it word for word and you figure out what it means. As someone who used to watch all of your content, the reason I stopped tuning out completely is because of the begging. I know you don't count it as begging, but mentioning support and memberships every 5 minutes became absolutely unbearable and completely ruined the experience for me to the point it started to become cringeworthy. You're at your best when you're playing something you genuinely enjoy. Don't be afraid to go back and replay classics, personal favorites, or things that you want to play instead of the next new hype thing that just fizzles out after 2 sessions. First of all, I have never once in any piece of content mentioned it every 5 minutes. That's ridiculous. But that's the thing. People tend
Yes, you
to
do.
remember and emphasize things they don't like. That's true, right? Like, you'll be watching a movie, and you'll enjoy the movie, and there's 2 scenes you hate. So what do you think about after you walk out of that movie?
The
two
scenes
scenes
that
you
I
absolutely
like.
fucking hated resonate in your head. You can't forget them, right?
If
So
you're
you may actually
cynical-
have a overly negative opinion on the movie, even though overall the movie was great, except for those 2 scenes. You just can't get it out of your head. So I understand what this person is saying. They're obviously extrapolating upon what they're trying to say. What they're trying to say is, me mentioning contributions is annoying, and doing it too much turns people off. I know this. I absolutely know this. This is not, rocket science. This is not a revelation. This is something that I've heard year after year after year. First of all, to some people, even hearing once, hey, you can contribute, oh my God, right? But what's crazy to me is they say that, but then they go and they watch content creators that have paid promotion present in this video. Giant segment of a paid promotion. Or a podcaster who literally their entire podcast border is blinking ads. We've seen that on this very show and or other React events that I've done. There's other podcasts where it's literally the entire border is fucking ads. That doesn't bother you? That's okay. But if the content creator says, hey guys, so how can you support me today? Well, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this, please consider it. And then maybe a couple times during the stream, hey guys, so just so you know, would be great if we get some support because it's on the slower side right now. We got this, we got this. If you like the content, please support it, right? And I get it. Sometimes I mention it too much. Absolutely, 100% will agree with you. Sometimes I get pushy, and usually those are times when I'm feeling a little nervous, right? Like a week where maybe it's been 2-3 days straight where it's been slow days. So here, perfect example. This week, yesterday, I did my React show, and I did Starfield. React show did all right. We got a few gifted memberships to the channel, and almost hit the tier 1 tips goal. So it was a decent stream. Late night stream was dead. Starfield is always going to be dead. The game is dead. No one cares about this game anymore, but I need to see the end, right? So it's like, I probably would have done better, all right, not playing Starfield. If I didn't play the game and I just sat here and talked to you guys for 2 hours, I probably would have had a more profitable stream, just being honest, right? So I knew that was going to happen, but we got to finish it. I take my job seriously. This isn't Phil dicks around and makes money. This is Phil actually cares about doing a professional job. I can't rank Starfield in my year-end awards till I beat it. So I have to beat it first. Even if it means I have several streams where I make like nothing, I still have to do it. I have to bite the bullet. Other content creators are like, oh, the game's not good, no one likes it anymore, stop playing it forever, play something that will make me money. That's not what I'm about, all right? But yeah, admittedly, yesterday was a slow day. Now, today, I hope that things will pick up again. I mentioned it a little bit, and now we play and we see what happens. If you haven't noticed, on a day when things are going well, if contributions are coming in well and everything, I don't mention it. Did you ever notice that? I'm not constantly mentioning it. Hey guys, even though I completely exceeded every goal I have on stream today, please keep contributing. I don't do that. I only do it when to remind people if it's a situation where things are on the slower side. And you know what? That's a necessary evil of not having tons of fucking ads on my stream. No referral codes, no blinking product placements, Dollar Shave Club and all that shit, right? That's the result of that. Not having that crap forced down your throat means I do have to every once in a while remind everyone to please support the content. But again, this is what makes me different, and this is why I'm still here after 15 years, and I'm still the same dude. I'm not someone who's completely transformed into someone that you don't recognize and you don't like. When you watch my content, you know what you're getting.
A DSP special begathon. And Phil, I can't speak for your fan base because frankly, I don't understand them. But I prefer ads to the constant, I need help, guys. For that matter, you think you're smart, learn how to budget. It's not that hard. I have a question for all of you. First of all, pretend you're Phil. You're broke and twice a day you go on stream to beg for money. What's wrong? Having a hard time getting in Phil's shoes? Don't worry. I know someone who can help.
Pretending to be DSP can be tricky, but I have watched hours upon hours of the man, and I think I can help you. First, close your eyes. Second, throw logic out the window and repeat the following phrases to yourself. I am better than everyone else. I am always right. Nothing is ever my fault. Everything I say is true. If I lose a game, the other player was cheating or lagging, or I was lagging because somehow I believe that when someone lags against me, they have an advantage. But when I lag against them, they have an advantage. Everything I say makes total sense. I am a genius. People that hate me are just jealous of my hard work and dedication. I have many more fans than detractors. Alright, now pause the video and repeat them again, only snort between each line. Oh, you're back? Great job. Open your little greedy Phil eyes and let's continue.
Okay, so now you're DSP, and you're always begging for money. One day, a person shows up and offers you $50,000 to join a podcast, and that's just a start. If the podcast is popular, you stand to make much more money. So, Mr. or Mrs. DSP, what do? Do you do this?
You guys know all about all the nonsense that happened with an interview and trying to pull me into a podcast and trying to pull me into this and that. And I said, enough is fucking enough. If anything, all this has shown is that all these people are all in it for themselves. All they care about is their own personal gain, very short-term personal gain. Because if anything, what they realize now is that drama-style shit is very flash-in-the-pan, instant, gratification style attention that just goes away. The moment that the drama side dies down, these people are no longer pertinent. No one gives two fucks about them anymore.
What can I say? The man is right. Drama stuff always dies down so quickly. I mean, who can remember when what's-his-name did that thing? Remember? You know the thing. With the other person. See? You don't remember. Phil is right. On the other side was Keemstar. You might not remember it because it was such a flash in the pan, but Keemstar used to have a little podcast called Drama Alert. Not sure what he was thinking with that because, as Phil says, drama dies down so quickly and then it's gone. I mean, who are you gonna believe? The King of Salt? Or the guy who has literally made millions off drama? Let's see what else Phil has to say.
It doesn't matter how many YouTube boxing matches they do. It doesn't matter how many fucking, political rants they go on. It doesn't matter, and I'm talking about a lot of people in general. It's not just one person. It's a lot of people this year that have tried to pull me into stuff. They've outright threatened me. I got threatened this year with all kinds of shit. It's like, are you out of your mind?
You?
I'm a guy who literally just sits right here and just plays games and talks with you guys about silly stuff every day.
And I
why
just
on
play
earth,
games,
of all the people on the planet, to go after a threat? Why would you threaten me? You see me as a threat that you have to threaten me? Me,
Really?
Joe Nobody, Mr. 300 views on a stream. You think I'm a threat that you have to come and threaten me?
Okay,
right?
Think about this.
These people are just out of their minds.
Think about this.
They are. They're
He's
fucking
all
nuts.
concerned, right?
about why YouTube won't give him the money for the gifted subs because you don't have enough members who attend your live stream to more than likely give out 100 or 1,000 plus memberships when you don't even have 1,000 plus viewers to stream. And maybe that's why YouTube's like, wait, hold up. What's going on here? Why is this guy getting so many gifted subs, right? But he doesn't actually have that many viewers who watch him regularly. Because let's be like complete here, Phil. You get about 400 at most, 1,000 viewers. You know, at the low end, 200, 2 to 300 at the low end, 7 to 1,000 at the high end, right? But you have almost 1,200 memberships. Even on your best day, you still don't have enough people whom are in your chat to receive memberships. So it doesn't really make sense why you have so many gifted memberships when the memberships that you're getting don't reflect the amount of people watching. So maybe YouTube's like, "Hey, this seems a little fraudulent here." And they're taking a look at what's going on with your money. And if I was you, I'd be worried because your scam might be coming home to roost on you, bud.
You know? And if anything, the fact that when I pulled out of all that drama earlier this year, right? The fact that they continued and tried to keep pulling me back in is just absolutely crazy, and I think it should be representative of how those people are versus me. I want nothing to do with that. I just want to make content for my community and have a good, chill time with all of you every day. Those people, the only attention they can ever get for themselves is to create more drama. So anything they can do to create drama, they will do, because that's their popularity. They don't have anything creative. They don't have anything positive or constructive to offer to the planet besides bringing down others or self-degrading themselves for the sake of clickbait views. So I have nothing to do with any of that shit. You know what I mean? I let them be. And, I don't want anything to do with this YouTuber's doxing this one and yelling at this one and screaming at this one and creating this situation and that situation. Let them all do it forever. I don't care. I have nothing whatsoever to fucking do with those people. Nothing whatsoever, And if anything, what you can see is everything that I've said over the years is true. Everything that I've ever said about this stuff is always correct. But people don't want to believe Darkside Phil because they turned me into a negative meme. So they say, oh, he's a clown. He's a joke. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Everything I've said about this shit is always correct. All right? Earlier this year, I was repeatedly threatened about a podcast, correct?
Not even close.
Which I never had any intention of ever being a part of, right? Then I was offered to be a part of a different kind of podcast that was going to be way more positive than this toxic one. And I said I would consider it. Then the whole thing flipped on its head and I was attacked by the people who wanted me in the podcast. What happened? They're just out of their minds, these people, all right? But anyway, it's this simple. Everything I've said is true. What did I originally say? I said the whole reason that any podcast was ever going to work is because I was part of it. That's it. I was the linchpin of the whole project because I'm the one who sits here and does a podcast every day. I'm the one who I know could direct the boat that would make the show interesting, right? Without me, it doesn't work. So they tried to do a podcast without me. Where is it? Where is it? Where is the podcast? Doesn't exist. You know? So fuck them. That's why I want nothing to do with any of these people. Let them all go off the deep end. Let them all rot. They all toxic people. They're all in for themselves. They really don't care about the success of anyone else outside of their own bubble. They're all self-preservation fucking people, and they can't see past the tip of their own nose. So let them do what they want to do. Let them leave me the fuck alone. I want nothing to do with any of them. You know? What's crazy is that there's people who I have never said a single negative thing about, ever. In my entirety on the internet. In fact, I've only said things but praise or positive things. And even they go out of their way to say negative shit about me. So you know what? Fuck them. I want nothing to do with them. Let them rot. Like I said, they're all going to fail. They're all going to disappear. There's nothing I can do about that, right? I mean, let them go and let them say what they want to say and do what they want to do in their own bubbles. I have nothing to do with them and their bubbles of bullshit, right? Really. I just have nothing to do with this at all. I'm done with all their nonsense and drama. I'm here to make fun gaming content, to do some current events, you know, to talk it up and have a good time with my audience. That's how I've always been. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I never have myself involved with these other people's drama and bullshit. And this is why. You know, this year was a case in point. People, why don't you branch out? Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Yeah, look how it worked out. Right? The moment
Everybody
I even
knows
considered
that's a
it,
fucking lie, Phil.
it just completely
I
extrapolated
myself
and blew up
out
with a bunch
on
of
this-
bullshit,
in
right?
So all of this
I'm just
bullshit.
never
No, you didn't.
gonna waste time on this shit ever again. There's just no point.
I'm
I'm happy where I am,
bro. Shut
you
up,
know?
Phil.
And it's funny
Fucking
too,
liar.
because as I told you guys, I still get contacted by people who say,
I
"Oh,
still
Phil, I
get
want you on an interview. I
contacted.
want to do this." I say, "Okay, let's do an interview." But by the way, I did an interview in March. The interview covered all the drama topics everyone's interested in. I'm done. I have literally nothing else to say about any of those topics that were discussed in March. If you want my answers on those topics, you can watch that podcast from March. In perpetuity, forever, those are my answers. They're never going to change. Now, if you want to talk about anything else that wasn't discussed in that podcast, including maybe criticism of me as a content creator, or talk about the gaming as a whole, how gaming has changed, YouTube and streaming and anything, copyright issues, any of this shit that I'm involved in that I have a wealth of knowledge that I can share with you, I'm more than willing to go on a podcast and talk about that. I just don't want to talk about the same fucking drama every time. So that's that. And guess what? Every single person, when I tell them that, they disappear.
I'm sorry, what? Did you just say people only want to talk to you about drama? What was it Phil said just a few minutes ago about drama? I must have misheard.
If they're
Because if anything, what they realize now is that drama style shit is very flash in the pan, instant, gratification style attention that just goes away. The moment.
Hold on. If they're gonna genuinely upgrade or like remaster or like give God of War the Final Fantasy 16 or not 16 treatment, but the Final Fantasy 17 or 7 treatment. God damn, I can't speak. But anyway, if they're gonna give God of War the Final Fantasy 7 treatment, right, where they remake the game in its totality and they change certain aspects, don't change it too much, please. Don't make Kratos different than he was. Don't try and make it align more with the new games. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Just upgrade the graphics. That's it. Those games are timeless. It's like going back and redoing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and just making it Breath of the Wild. Don't do it, please. Please. As somebody who grew up with God of War, don't do it. Please. Don't do it. I don't want over the shoulder God of War 2018 combat and God of War the original or God of War 2 or 3. I want it to be left alone. The combat in those games were timeless. It literally launched an entire genre. For its time, it was the Elden Ring of the PlayStation 2. It revolutionized action games for, that type of genre. It took what Devil May Cry was doing and flipped it on its head. It made, in my opinion, a faster, more fluid combat system than what the original two Devil May Cry's gave us. Devil May Cry 3 was a fucking beast. You couldn't contend with the combat system in that game. You couldn't. The fact you could switch your weapons in between missions, it was great. It was great. But then God of War 2 came out and it let you switch your weapons on the fly and not just superpowers like God of War the original, right? Where you could cycle through the weapons or through the mystical abilities that you got, and then you also got the blade of damn the 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 red blade. I can't remember what the name of it is, but anyway, you got that, and you could switch through those in the original God of War, but in God of War 2, it gave you multiple weapons that you could switch between, like Devil May Cry 3. But this one lets you switch on the fly. So that was pretty cool. Um, and then God of War 3 came out, and it just blew Devil May Cry away. I'm sorry. God of War 3 is better than Devil May Cry 4. I'll say that every day of the week. It is. Um, but if you're gonna remake God of War, please, for the love of fucking God, for the love of your fandom, for the people who made God of War what it is today, well, as popular as it is today, because you can't give them credit for anything but the popularity of the property, right? But please, for the love of God, for the sake of the fans, the people who work on the content, please don't change it. It doesn't need to be updated. It doesn't. Now, could you improve its flaws in certain areas? Sure, absolutely. But I don't want things in God of War 1, right? The original, to change in God of to align more with God of War 2018. I don't want that. I want I want Tyson Carson's Kratos. That's what I want. I don't want Christopher Judge's Kratos in God of War, the original, in God of War 2, in God of War 3. I don't want that. As much as I wouldn't want Tyson Carson's version of Kratos to be in the 2018 version of God of War, I don't want Christopher Judge's Kratos in the 2005 God of War, in God of War 2, in God of War 3, in Ascension, Ghost of Sparta, Chains of Olympus. No. Those 6 games were Tyson Carson's magnum opus. It's the greatest work he has ever done. You can watch his live action roles, you can do whatever, right? And it will never compare to as good as his Kratos was. He had the intensity, he had the fury, he had the anger, but he had this kindness and this understanding in his voice that you could tell that this was a tormented soul, that this was somebody who was wrong, and not just wrong in a sense of, oh, I must seek vengeance. That is what it ultimately boiled down to. But it wasn't that. Not for who Kratos was as a person, right? For Kratos, as I've always seen it, it was a means to an end for him, right? He wanted to die in God of War 1, but after gaining the seat of Ares, right, as the God of War, learning all these other things, right? It just solidified his war against the Olympians. In his mind, it justified the violence and the anger and the destruction. Because in his mind, his brother was taken and killed by these people, right? His mother was killed by these people. His wife was killed by these people. His daughter was killed by these people. These people had taken everything from Kratos, right? So in his mind, if you take everything from me and you're literally on the highest pedestal in all the land, I'm meeting you, and it's gonna be the ones and twos, and we're gonna catch this shit outside. And that's what it was for Kratos. And that's why everybody loved it. Yes, you can say there was an argument to be made that the combat system after God of War Ascension started to become drastically stale. You can make that argument that by God of War 3, the combat system was getting stale because by that time, right, you had God of War 1 and 2, God of War Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta, which all had the same combat scheme, right? And then you get into God of War 3, and it didn't really change anything. It didn't. It didn't reinvent the wheel. It didn't really improve anything. It just took everything that it learned from the prior four games, right? And took all of those things and rolled it into the best cake that they could possibly make. You know? And God of War 3 for what it was probably the best of the classic God of Wars. Graphically, story-wise, combat-wise, my opinion aside, God of War 3 is the jewel of the five prior games, right? But in my opinion, God of War 2 is the best God of War game that they've ever made. Um, but if Sony's genuinely gonna come out here and say, okay, we have this property, we can remake it, don't ruin it, please. Don't change the combat, please. Don't change the story to align with God of War 2018. Leave it alone. Don't add to it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel when the wheel is perfectly symmetrical, when there are no rough edges. Don't. Don't smooth it out more. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave just let the gears work. God of War worked because honestly, I couldn't tell you why God of War the original worked. But for me, it was the story, Kratos as a character. I knew Kratos was as sentimental, as heartfelt, as deep as he is in 2018. I knew he was that in 05. I knew. I knew Kratos. I said from the very beginning, this is a modern day Greek tragedy, a retelling of the of comedies, you know, classic Greek comedies. You know, it fits the bill entirely. There are betrayals, love and hatred, gods interfering with mortals, um, Kratos turning out to be a demigod like Hercules. I mean, it's all there. It's a tragedy, you know, from start to finish. The way Berserk presents Guts' story as an unending, unnerving tragedy, right? That ultimately ends in destruction, right? For as far as we can tell, that's where it's going because it hasn't been finished. You know, I knew Kratos was that much of an in-depth character before they started making the comic books, before even God of War 2 kind of proved that when Kratos killed Athena, right? And he felt remorse. That to me confirmed that it isn't all about hatred for him. It's about family for him. And he figured out that Athena, upon her death, until it was retconned in God of War Ghost of Sparta, right? Where it says that Kratos' mother told Kratos that he was the son of Zeus. Athena is actually canonically the first one to tell him that canonically, the first one to tell him that he was the son of Zeus. And in the remorse that you can see on Kratos' face when he learns that Athena is his sister and he killed his sister, it's one of, okay, okay, you took this from me. I had no idea that this other world existed for me, and you made me take it away again. Now I'm not only am I coming for you, but I'm coming for everyone. And that's when it changed in Kratos' mind, right? And it changed him as a character. Because in the final moments in God of War 3, Kratos becomes the monster that Zeus said he was, and Kratos didn't give a shit. It wasn't until the memory of Lysandra and Calliope pulled Kratos back from the brink that he was able to succeed where he was going to fail. You know? Kratos was a literarily deep character from the very beginning. From the very beginning. And it's not even up for debate. The novels prove it. The comic book proves it. The way Kratos was willing to give up his entire life to spend the rest of his mortal existence in Elysium with Calliope and then fade into nothing. It confirms it. Kratos, yes, he was presented as a one-note murdering, slaughtering monster, but that's not who he was. Never from the beginning. And you can see it the first time Kratos encounters a harpy, right? He tells the harpy, "Return to your master and tell him I am his no longer." Right? From that first time he encounters the harpy, you know for a fact that this is a man who is doing things or has done things against his will to survive. And in the world today, how can we argue with that? He sold his life, his entire being for the for his people to prosper, for his people to not be driven into slavery by the barbarian horde. Kratos was willing to give up everything. And not only, right, did did the gods answer his pact and his pleas, but they took everything. So ultimately, what drove Kratos insane wasn't that he was in service to a god that was making him do horrific things, right? It was that Kratos, in giving up everything that he was, still lost everything that he gave up everything for, right? Because in God of War, he loses Calliope and Lysandra, right? And then in God of War 2, he loses all the Spartans, all of them. So so not only is this man, right? Not only has he given up his entire life, the entire the entire relationship, the child, the life that he built, gave it all away to see his people prosper. But in the end, it culminated in nothing for him. Nothing but wanton destruction. It's an amazing, deep character that somebody who's been manipulated, somebody who's been attacked and used. What the fuck was that? I swear I just heard like a little. No. Okay. I don't know. But anyway, back to what I was saying, in losing everything, Kratos found a new life, you know. Faye wasn't only Kratos' redemption, but he was his future. Atreus is his future, you know? And the way Kratos treats Atreus is the way he treated Calliope. Because if if you look at what happened to Atreus and then you go back and you read the DC comics for God of War, right? You actually come to find out that Kratos was just one of many champions used by the gods, and the barbarian that was going to kill Kratos was actually the champion of Hades, right? So in the book, Kratos goes and he has to find Ambrosia to kill, or not kill, but to heal Calliope's illness. The same illness that Atreus had. And what was Atreus's illness from? It was from Kratos's insistence that Atreus live as a normal person. Now, Kratos never knew he was a demigod. He didn't. And when Lysandra had Calliope, he still didn't know he was the son of Zeus at this point. He didn't. So, in the comic books, Kratos has to go and find Ambrosia to heal Calliope's sickness. If Kratos was just this one note character that wanted just death and destruction all the time, why would he go on a mission to heal his daughter? In Chains of Olympus, why would he, or no, Chains of Olympus, why would he give up everything to live in Elysium with Calliope? It's his want for family that really resonated the character with me. You know, especially as a young lad, as a young man, you know. Everybody kind of wants that kinship, you know. And it in my mind, when I was a kid and I was playing God of War, I understood that Kratos was a tormented character, right? That he just oh man, I could go on and on, but I'm starting to go in circles now. I really love God of War. Um, if Sony is going to remake God of War, leave it alone, please. Incorporate some things from the comics into the mythology so they're brought into the mythology proper, like Kratos going and fighting the barbarian before he truly became the champion of Ares, right? Have that happen in there. You know, throw in some extras, but don't change anything, please. Those games are perfect for what they were. And I people loved them for what they were. I'm not going to turn down a remake if you want to do it like Final Fantasy VII and say this is God of War, but this is a different timeline version of God of War, so they can align it with uh uh David Jaffe's opinion of Kratos, because David Jaffe's original opinion of Kratos was supposed to have three different versions of Kratos from three different mythologies, right? Become the three wise men in the Bible, right? That's basically a very dumbed down paraphrase of what David Jaffe ultimately wanted for the original story of God of War. Um, I don't like that. I really don't. But I also don't like this thing where Sony Santa Monica is kind of turning God of War into Assassin's Creed. I don't want to see Assassin's Creed God of War. I don't want to see Kratos in the Mediterranean. Oh, well, let me rephrase that. I don't want to see Kratos go to Japan, right? I don't want to see Kratos go to China. I don't want to see Kratos go to Mesoamerica. I don't. I really don't. I think they're at their limit of what they can do now. Because it's just gonna get repetitive. Where's Kratos gonna go next? He's gonna go to space. No, no, no. I'm not sure where they can go with the IP next, honestly. After the whole Norse thing, But how many more times can it go from, oh, this kill all the gods, this kill the gods? And I'm sorry, I don't buy Kratos as just like this general type character taking a backseat to Freya. I don't. I really don't. Kratos has proven his ultimate authority, right? Kratos should be the upper echelon of that pantheon if they're creating a new pantheon, right? Which it kind of seems they're creating their own video game version of the Avengers, right? That's really what God of War Ragnarok felt like. A Marvel movie with a God of War skin. It really, really did. Because you have to go around, you have to find everybody, you have to get them together, and then you have to fight the last boss after amassing your army. I don't know. I honestly don't know where they can go. But if they're gonna go back and do remake, um, I don't know. I really don't. I would much rather you go back and make like prequel game or have Kratos in the present telling stories to Atreus so they could kind of be a little different and you could kind of do things a little different, but the story would ultimately be the same. You know? Kratos could add extras to it, like what happened in the comics or what happened in the PSP games, you know? He could do that. But don't change it, right? Don't make Zeus evil from the first God of War to the last God of no. Zeus in the beginning was a good guy. He was a good guy. It wasn't until the end of God of War when Kratos opens the Pandora's box and releases all the torments onto the world that Zeus actually becomes an evil guy, and that's explained in the beginning of God of War 3's opening cutscene. Um, I I don't know. I really don't. I don't want them to do a full-on Final Fantasy VII remake type thing with God of War. I would much rather just it be an upscale remaster. But anyway, let's move to something else. Son of a bitch, I talked about that for like a half an hour. Half hour. Hmm. What else? What else? What else? I just can't get over that in my mind. How the fuck, right? Are you gonna give us an RPG like game, but make it a looter shooter and not make it about the Justice League? You make it about the fucking Suicide Squad. And then on top of that, you don't even get to fucking when when you beat the Justice League, you don't even get to use Batman. You don't even get to use Superman. What's the point? I don't know. I think I might actually call it for the night, guys. Been streaming a lot lately. I might cut it back a little bit. Alright, guys. Have a good one.